Hello and welcome to a new crochet podcast from me. I'm Marta and I'm a crochet designer, and I'm going to share with you this afternoon some whips. I've got one finished object, I've had some things come in the mail that I'm happy to show you, and I've got something that's a little bit different. So hang on for that. Will I start with the finished object? I think I will because it's sitting on my knee. And I have finished a pair of humongous socks. We put them that way round. These are for my middle son, and he is a UK 14. I haven't made a mistake. They are, even I had to remeasure once I blocked them, or as I was blocking them, measure them, check, had I gone some sort of crazy way off with them, but no, correct size. And these were a birthday gift. Jamie helped me choose the yarn, and I can't wait to pass these on for real. So I got them finished just in time for Jamie's birthday, but they weren't actually through in Courtesy on their birthday, so they did not quite make it to their recipient, correct word? Recipient, yeah. And I'm not going to put them in the post, I'm just going to wait, and next time I see Jamie I shall pass these on. They are so soft. This is Holst Garn sock wool. I can look it up in my journal, find out exactly all those details for you. So it's their Highland sock, 80% superwash Highland and 20% nylon. It comes in 50 gram skeins. I used one skein of the black. I have a tiny little bit this size left. It wouldn't even have done 2 rounds. I worked it so close because I worked these toe up just to make sure that I had enough yarn, because it would have been awful if I'd got to here and run out. I would have rather had a short leg on them, which actually worked out okay. That's about the size of a regular leg. It just looks short because the foot is so long. Anyway, I used 2 colours. I used the charcoal, the black obviously, and purple touch, which is that variegated one. It knitted up really nicely. It's such a soft yarn. I guess the 80% as opposed to the usual 75% made a difference, and the twist in it is quite a high twist, and I think these are going to be lovely to wear. I am going to order some more of the Holst Garn Highland for sure. It comes in a fairly small range of colours. There's some solid colours like the black, and then there are a few of the variegated ones that look kind of like an indie yarn, something like that. But definitely recommend that, and it's not the only project that I have to show you today in Holst Garn. Yes, Holst Garn. It's new. It's the first time I've ever ordered from them. I've seen for a long time, I've seen other podcasters, other folks on Instagram using Holst Garn, and I've always been curious, and I finally ordered, and it does not disappoint. So if you are not sure, especially as you can't actually touch it through the screen, then yeah, I would recommend it. It is a gorgeous yarn. And I've done another little bit in the journal for this page. I drew the sock, popped the size on, and of course, because it's finished, I have given myself a nice shiny gold star. One of the favourite things about this journal is popping on that gold star when the project's finished. Woohoo! It's the little things, right? So that is my only finished object. I shall pop that over there. Okay, on to whips, my works in progress. Let's show you the right way around, shall we? I've done quite a bit on this blanket. This is a new design from me. I am working a small throw size blanket, so it's that size. I can just get it in the screen there. So there are granny squares down the centre, and then I have, after my poll on Instagram, I have decided to keep it symmetrical, which is kind of the way I was thinking. It was quite close. It was 71% for keep it symmetrical, so it's coming out from the centre the same both ways. 29% for different, so I've gone with the symmetrical, partly because it's easier for me to write up, right? You gotta be thinking. I've only got to write one thing if it's mirrored, yeah? Whereas if it was asymmetrical, I would have to do more work. No, I do believe that symmetrical is the way to go. I'll show you, I've done a wee sketch of how I think it's all going to work. Again, in my little notebook. And I'm sort of colouring it in as I go. It's this page here. So I've done the centre, I've got these two bits, and then there's going to be a bit more. I do know what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep that up my sleeve for now, but I know what I'm going to do next. And then I'm going to repeat 2 sets of just the same simple granny square, but in different colours. So I'm probably going to use the minty colour for one of them. Haven't decided exactly. I might just switch and do the other 3 colours. We'll just have to see. Don't know. I'm thinking out loud there. I don't know what I'm going to do. I will know when I get to it. It all depends, I suppose, on what the next will be. A bit about this size here. And it all depends on what goes here. I'll finish up. I've got the pattern written to, that's a few rows of moss stitch or linen stitch that I've finished up with. So I've got the pattern written until that. So that is where the pattern is written up till. And so I'm kind of doing it as I go. That's the other beauty of the mirror thing. It means that I can just get my head down, work on this bit. Don't need to worry about, other than a few quick scribbles, I don't need to worry about writing it up in its finished form. And then when I do this side, I can slow down, make sure it's all written up properly. And that is how I do tend to like to design. If it's something that I am, I want to say passionate, but I guess I'm passionate about all the designs. Something that I'm wanting to work quickly through, I tend to work with a notebook and then I'll type it up later. Whereas if it's something that's, maybe something that's more, I know exactly in my head what I'm doing almost before I've crocheted it. On those patterns, I tend to work with the keyboard in front of me and I'll work a few rows or rounds and then just get that written up on the computer or my laptop straight away. I like both ways. Yeah, it's just 2 completely different ways, isn't it? Pros and cons. When I do it straight onto the laptop, it means that's it, done. Whereas with the notebook, you've then got to go and kind of how we think about it. Yeah, I'm not sure which is better. If you design, maybe you've got one way you do it, maybe you do it something completely different. So this one is in Hobbii yarn, and I had it open on the page. Let's see, I'm using 5 different colours. I had it open on the page, but I haven't actually popped in the ball band. Can I reach? Yes, I can. Here's one. So it's Hobbii yarns, and it's their Friends Extra Fine Merino. And it's the first time I've ordered from, no, it's the second time I've ordered from Hobbii yarns, but it's the first time I've ordered this particular yarn. I've used their 8/4 rainbow cotton, and I love that. So this was a big order that I placed for the blanket, and this is 100% wool. Obviously merino wool because it's the Extra Fine Merino. Am I showing you that upside down? I am. Fantastic. There you are. I've got 6 colours and I'm loving how it feels, loving how it's working up. It's not too splitty. The colours are coming out nicely, nice, and it's giving me good stitch definition, I think, on both areas. I really like merino for that because I guess it's not got all that extra fuzz that something like an alpaca has. So I'm enjoying this one. I just need to finish this little mirrored bit and then see what comes next. I know what I'm going to do next. Ooh, that is a nice shadow coming in. It's really weird actually. The sun is over there. So it's the sun hitting my neighbour's white outhouse and then bouncing into here, and the leaves are a plant pot at my window. I've never noticed that before. It must just be that time of year, and that it'll probably be gone in 5-10 minutes. Just the way that the light is bouncing. Really pretty. Love it when you spot little things like that. So there you are. Next whip is my first Tunisian design. Am I showing you the right? Yes, I am. So at the moment I've just finished a ball of yarn, and I've kind of just given it a quick look through and fasten off so that I can show you it in all directions and not worry about it coming off the hook or coming unravelled. So this is a cowl. It's going to be that way. So I'm working around like this. It's nice and deep, so it's going to sit nicely, isn't it? Like that. It is so soft because it is a mix of, I believe, merino and alpaca and a bit of nylon. Am I getting that right? Yes. 42% alpaca, 42% fine merino and 16% polyamide. There is the ball band, and this is my other Holst-Garn project. So I've never even felt this yarn before until it came in the post, and it is beautiful. It's a chained yarn, so it's not plied. I showed you this on the last one. It's made up of little chains. I think you're seeing it better today than the last day, actually. It's coming up better on the screen. It's got quite a pull to it. Stitch definition is coming up well. You can still see the basket weave, that's the main thing. I am using an 8mm Tunisian hook, which I believe is here somewhere. Am I sitting on it? Oh, did I? No, it's maybe not here. I will probably find it when I sit up at the end, right? I'm using my new Lykke, not sure how I say that, I must look it up, hook, and it's coming along really nicely. I'm loving using the new hook. I think on the last podcast I'd done a few rows, that was it. So I've done this in the last couple of weeks, and I have paced myself because I spoke then about not having done any Tunisian for, I think since just before Christmas. I finished making some washcloths that were Tunisian, and I hadn't done it for say a month, so I had to build up the movement in my wrist and not overdo it by plunging in and working rows and rows before I'd done that. So I did a couple of rows that first day, I gave it a couple of days break, and then I did a few rows and I gave it, I think, maybe just a day's break, and then I did a few more, and now I can do 5 or 6 easily, so that's fine. I haven't pushed it beyond that. I probably could do beyond that. I haven't pushed it because the last thing I want is to do in my wrist. And if you do have problems with your wrists, I have got a video all about wrist exercises, and I will try to remember and pop that description pop that link, the YouTube link in the description, and that'll take you straight to that video, which is really good. Even if you're not experiencing hand or wrist problems, just at the end of the day or before you start, if you're just watching telly, there's a few good exercises on that just to keep our hands and wrists nice and supple, because the last thing we want is problems. Anything else I want to say on this one? So it's a cowl. This edge here is going to be plain, and the bottom edge is going to have a little shell edging. I've done a wee drawing. There we are. It's going to have that shell edging. Oh, there is the page for it. Really enjoying keeping up with this notebook. It's such fun, and it seems to have sparked curiosity and inspired others as well on Instagram, which is really lovely to see. You've had some fantastic comments, so thank you if you are over there and you've been enjoying that. So yeah, I think that's all I want to say on that one. It's going to grow. I've got 3 balls. I imagine it will take a good 2.5, maybe 2 3/4. I will not push it so that, you know, you maybe need to run into the 4th ball if you were to make it. I'll make sure it fits nicely in 3 balls. And another one that I recommend from Holst-Garn. I'm curious now about their other yarns. Definitely going to give those a try. I just picked, oh, I did pick something else as well. It's in, there we are. It's so good to be in my craft room and I can reach things I need and I'm not in the front room. And yeah, I picked this one as well. And I'm going to be designing a shawl in this later. I have 3 colours, there's a blue and a purplish one, and this is their tides or teats, not quite sure how I'd say that, and it is 700% wool, 70% wool and 30% silk, and that feels really nicely, and I think it's going to work up beautifully for a shawl design. That'll be later in the year. I will at least finish that Tunisian design, and I have another shawl design in the pipeline as well, so probably late summer I think, maybe even towards the end of the year for that Holst Garden shawl. Next crochet project, I'll grab a sip of tea. I am drinking Twining's Digest tea today, and it's a nice one. Most importantly, it's warm. I'm not too cold. It's very windy, but it's not too cold. I think it's around 8 degrees Celsius today, something like that. It's been fine. So next up is my Battenberg blanket, and I think I've done a fair bit on this. Can we get it all in? Yeah, it's getting to that stage where it's getting big. So the last time I saw you, I think I had something like that, almost a square. And at that point, when it was square, that was me, see the coloured squares, that was me. I'd used pretty much one of each of the scraps of yarn that I had. So it was time to, if I carried on doing that, it would mean that I would just be coming out, you know, round and round to the square. And then if maybe it's like 6 months, 9 months time, I started getting new sock yarn, then that would mean that round the edges would be different colours to what's in the middle, and the middle would be kind of a bit samey. So what I decided to do, let's see what's the best way to show you this, like that. I decided to just start a length coming off the square in 2 directions. So I've now got my straight edge. I've only got a few ends. I have been doing them as I go. I'll maybe get 4 or 5 like this, and then I'll work on them. But the other end, ta-da, all done. Anyway, the edge, I've started, yeah, and that kind of gives me more of an idea of how it's going to look, how it's going to feel, and size as well. So I'm quite happy with that. I've now got a straight edge to work from. No idea how many squares are on here. By the end of January I had 83, so I was quite happy with that. And as I said last time, this one is a make along. It's the Battenberg Mal 23_24. I think I got that right. I hope so. I'll pop it up on the screen and you can verify that. And it is run by Mariette, who is the Baufrau on Instagram and on YouTube, and by Liani, who is independence_yarn_crafts, and they're both on Instagram and YouTube with the same name, and they are running this make along, and there's such a good community vibe on Instagram with their chat group. It's buzzing with people posting their pictures, their questions, supporting one another if they've maybe not done any squares for a few days. There's loads of encouragement. It's a lovely, lovely group. So happy to be part of it. And if you like a long-term project, then please do join. The 23_24 means that it's a 2-year kind of commitment. Nobody is expecting, well, apart from Claudia, Sunbird Crochet, who has finished hers. She did go for much bigger squares, to be fair. My squares are around about 5.5 centimetres, I think, and hers were much bigger. I think hers were 10, and she was using yarn held together. So there we are. It's growing. I'm really happy with it. I tend to do 5 or 6 squares one day, and then I'll do none for maybe a day or 2, and then I'll do a bundle. So I'm not really a, you know, must do 2 or 3 squares a day person. I know that just won't work for me, and that I do like to just get in the zone, make a bundle of squares, and And I know then that's me for a few days. I've got a few here that are ready to be joined. And they all join on the back. It's a join as you go method on the back with the solid colour. In the pattern is by Sandra Paul, who is Sandra Cherry Heart without the EA, and it's a free pattern on Ravelry. And this week I posted a video here on YouTube with how I deal with my ends, because there's loads of ways of dealing with them. I know what works for me, and I thought it might be helpful for others, and that video has been really popular, so thank you if you're one of the ones that watched it. If you didn't and you make granny squares, particularly solid granny squares, definitely go and check that one out, and I'll link to that in the description as well. Okay. Lots to get through. I've got lots of things, yeah. I've got one more whip, and it's a knitting whip. I'll show you the pattern first. It's the Painting Triangle Socks by Stephen West. This is part of Stephen's Year of Socks. There's a pattern release every month, and I've started these. Da, da, da. Shall we show them? Yeah, let's show them that way around. So here they are. I've just finished the first lot of triangles, and I got a lovely little stitch marker on. I got that one from Hilda, who is, I think, Smatier Designs. I'm not quite sure if I'm saying that right. I got that in one of her giveaways just before Christmas. It's a really nice one. And yeah, really enjoying this pattern. It's a new to me technique with slipping stitches, and there's a mix of knit and purls. Are you going to focus? Yeah, there we go. I think, if we look inside, I think I'm getting the tension right. You need to be careful that you don't pull the floats at the back too tight. I think I'm getting that all right. Yeah, fab pattern. I've got that bit. As you can see, I just need to repeat that in a few other colours. Now, the other colours that I have are, I've got I was going to say cherry, not quite a cherry red, claret, maybe not even that, a lipstick red, would I maybe call that? I've done the blue. I have this lovely mustard. This is from Hobbii Yarns. It's their unicorn sock solid. And I have a pink. So let's see if I can get them all on the screen. There we go. That's quite a nice combo. I like them together. But it wasn't just me who chose them, because I am making these socks for Claudia, who is Sunbird Crochet, and she is going to make me a shawl, and we're going to do a wee swap. She just mentioned one day that she wishes that she could knit socks, and that she loves wearing knitted socks, and I thought, I'll make you some socks. So we have agreed a little swap between the two of us. I think she's still waiting for her yarn, but I am a slow knitter, and although I've made quite fast progress to get to here, I will probably slow down, I think. But there, nice little swap idea. It's nice to be making something for someone, and I'm keen to make as many of the Stephen West patterns this year. I bought into the 12-month thing, so I will have the patterns, and yeah, it's exciting. My mum made me the, did I share that one here? I don't think I did. I can maybe pull one off. My mum made me the January ones. I'm wearing them just now because they're so cozy. Mind you, if I take it off, I'm going to have to put it back on. Aren't they cool? So she made these for me, knitted them. That was the January design. I'm going to put it back on because suddenly my foot, especially when the other one's warm, my foot does feel cold. There, and they are fab. They fit me really well, and they're comfy. They've got a double folded down cuff. So if you like knitting socks, definitely check out Stephen's patterns for the year. And they're all in this Granny Love bag. Is it Granny Love? Yeah. That's what project bag that I've put them in. So I like to work on them when I'm watching TV. I'll be working on them in the evenings. So next up I have some incoming. Right, I have a few pieces of Happy Mail. First up, a little small thing. I got the Crochet Project's Shawl Project Book 5. This is one that I don't have. It's got the patterns for these 5 shawls and they're all in lace weight yarn. They're all crocheted. Patterns are all by Joanne's Grace, and I have had this in my sights for a while. Pardon me. I've had this book in my sights for a little while. The one I really want to make first is that one. It looks nice and simple. It's a twist on just a granny zigzag, and that looks really nice. Yeah, that'll be my first one, I think. With that one, I haven't made much in lace weight yarn. It's I think when I started crocheting, I started with Aran weight, got comfortable with that, then started on DK, and then 4-ply. 4-ply is probably my favourite. I make most things in 4-ply. Totally addicted to it. I really like just the size, the working with that fineness, and I like, I guess one of the things, because it's finer, you get more yarn for your money, and with lace weight that's even more so because it's half the thickness of 4-ply, so it's like a 2-ply thickness, so a lot of project time per gram. Does that make sense? So definitely recommend this book. I have all 5 books, although a certain someone knows that they have borrowed book 4 from me. Hope to get it back soon. Don't worry, they're working on their shawl, and I know I will get it back soon. You know who you are if you're watching. The other thing I ordered is huge, and I have my father-in-law to thank for this because he gave me some money at Christmas time and I knew immediately what I was going to order. So I ordered dun, 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 nearly took the camera out, a Swift, and it's in mango wood. It's my umbrella, and it, again, it's by, it'll be upside down and back to front, I think. Let's at least make it the right way around for you. By Lykke, and it's mango wood. It feels wonderful. I have never had a Swift or a ball winder. Yeah, there's a ball winder too. In my life before, I have always wound by hand, which is why, you know, in my project bag there, those balls were all wound by hand. Oh, except there was a little clue, I suppose. I'm trying to undo the zip one-handed. Let's pop you down. So I started this project just on the cusp of getting the ball winder. So this is how I would normally have wound, and I've always prided myself on getting my balls nice and round. It's quite a technique. But this one, it's tangled there. This one I did with my new Swiffer and ball winder, again in mango wood. I think you can get them in mango wood and a dark wood. I'm not quite sure what the darker wood is. It might be mahogany. I went for the mango for both of them. It is really, really good. I'm so happy with it. I've wound 2 things. That was it. Excitement. I haven't needed to wind anymore. And it just works so beautifully. There's a peg goes in here and keeps that up. And then both of them fit onto your table or work surface. There's a tightening thing here, and there's a little clamp for the ball winder. Yeah. exciting times. So fast, I could not believe how fast it wound up. So yeah, thank you very much to hubby's dad for the Christmas bunny, and I am going to have a lot of fun with them and a lot of use from them. I've gone for more expensive than, you know, your cheap plastic one, because I know this hobby is kind of a lifelong hobby and they'll last, they'll work. If there are problems, I will be able to get them sorted. And yeah, I just wanted something really beautiful to use. So that's that. Though that is my happy meal. And finally, in other news, I have been working on my Isla Cozy Polo. This is one of my own designs. It is a design from maybe around, probably about 2018. Oh. On to my final bit of news. I've been working on my Isla Cozy Polo. This is one of my own crochet designs. It's a top-down, roll-down polo. Split for the sleeves, work the sleeves, and because this is something I designed back in around 2018, I think, I've had a lot of wear out of this. I wear this most days of the week, I would say. I wear this and then I'll just wash it, it'll be out in the line, and then back on the next day. So I wear this a lot. And the sleeves had just gained a bit of length. Just over time they had pulled down. The body doesn't seem to have done the same. Maybe it's the way I'm pulling on the sleeves, I don't know. Anyway, the sleeves had definitely lengthened. So I unravelled, I took the cuff off, they finished their cuff, sorry, top down, so they finished at the cuff. I couldn't work, I've done it so, woven the ends in so tightly that it was easier to start unwinding where the, so they went this way around and then this is worked in rows, picking up as you go. Anyway, that bit was really, really tough. I guess it's probably got more felted over time because it is, you know, a more used part and tugging it on and off, and I kept the sleeves rolled up, so I guess I was constantly touching it, so I couldn't quite unravel the cuff. But I've taken, that would have been about here, and then the cuff, so I've taken off about that and then just grabbed the yarn I had, the bit I unravelled, and last night I sat and made another cuff. So I've made it deeper and slightly tighter. Yes, definitely tighter. Although time may tell, that might over time come out, but I used a smaller hook and made it slightly longer. Tried it on this morning, really, really happy with it. It now finishes, this jumper has shrunk a bit. It finishes nicely here, and I'm really, really happy with it. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other one. And that'll be that. I had a look at the length of the body and I'm really happy with the length of the body. So I don't know if it used to be a bit shorter and I wasn't so happy, but body length seems to be fine. This yarn is gorgeous. It's just made for this sweater. Sadly, it's discontinued. It is Cascade Yarns 220 Superwash Wave, and it's an Aran weight superwash merino or superwash wool, not sure which. Really, really lovely yarn to work with, and like I say, it's 5 years old. It's been through the wash so many times. Sometimes it goes in the machine, sometimes I hand wash it, and one thing I'll do once I've done that is a little bit of pilling on it. I will deal with that. It's not too bad, and hopefully years more joy to come because I do love it. I will pop the link for it in the description because loads of people ask me, what jumper were you wearing? What sweater were you wearing? So I'll pop that link in the description as well. The only thing I will say on it is not size inclusive. It starts at an extra small and goes up to an extra large. There are 5 sizes. I just don't have the knowledge at the minute to write for more sizes. That is definitely in the pipeline for 2023. I'm going to start some more garment designing, and I do want to be size inclusive. So sorry to disappoint. At the moment it is only those sizes. I don't know if I will make this one size inclusive once I've done the course, simply because the yarn is discontinued anyway. I don't know if I will. I shall see if... Oh, here's the dog. I shall see if there's a need for it. Oh, thank you. Loads of you left sweet comments about me managing to get the dog on screen the last time. She was quite happy for that. Today she's just sitting there wagging her tail at me. But I'm almost finished. I think that was all I was going to say this afternoon. I hope you've enjoyed watching. Have you been crocheting, knitting, Tunisian crocheting as you've been viewing? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to know what you're working on. And do leave me a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and it'd be lovely to get to know you more in the comments. So yeah, do leave me a comment. I do reply to your comments. And that is it, I think. I will be back in 2 weeks. I try and podcast every 2 weeks, so I'll be back in a couple of weeks with some updates for you. Hopefully a finished whip or two. I might be finished the cowl. We'll see. That'll be the next one on my list, because I definitely won't be finished the Battenberg or the blanket. I might be finished the cowl, you never know. Or the socks for Claudia. Depends how hooked on them I get. And I'll most definitely have started something new. So look out for that in a couple of weeks. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.